All right, we're up. This is the Our Town with Troy by North Alabama's podcast, and it's a particular importance I mentioned that because I get a lot of requests to come on the show, and I'm getting more and more of the service that books guest appearances for their clients.
Right.
So then you get the AI generated, hey, I'm representing so and so, and I just write back, are they in Alabama? Can they come in person? Because I only do in person. It's just the way I like to do it. And it's either no response or we're in wherever, Sioux City. But I also want to make sure people know that I call it North Alabama's podcast because, realistically, there might be a guest that could come from far away, but for the most part, they're going to be in Decatur, Morgan County, Huntsville, Madison County, whatever. Although I did have Jared Hudson, who's running for senator. I had him on once, and he drove up from Birmingham that day. So I say that because then it's also, well, is it just Madison and Huntsville? No. And that's why I got Joel Lamp here, and he lives in Decatur, born and raised in Decatur, right?
Yes, sir.
And he is on his second appearance, his cameo appearance of the Our Town.
Thank you for having me on. It's great. It's always great to be here in the wood deck decor here. I love this setup. This is fantastic.
I'll give you the honest truth. I've painted it a few times. When I started out, it was gray. And my brother was like, you should use gray. And I was like, I don't really like the gray. And so I went with the blue. And then I have too many holes in the wall because you've been a guest and used to see the number of TVs I had on the wall, right? Yeah. So, and I've actually at one point, I don't know, probably 50 episodes before you came in, I had the whole thing repatched, re-drywalled, and then I can't help myself. I'm always putting drywall anchors in the wall. So I'm like, you know what? I got to hide all this stuff. If I'm going to relaunch the podcast, I want it to look good. And you know how it is.
This is a great setup.
But you're right. I got some. It's like fencing wood. It's an outdoor wood.
I love this setup. It gives it a real calming feel.
Yeah.
But it also kind of fits our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful area that we live in, and this kind of reflects that with the outdoor type of atmosphere that we live in. A lot of trees, a lot of forest, a lot of hiking. And then to be able to kind of complement with this look, this is fantastic. And
I guess I could use some advice on people. Like I have the flag that used to be behind where the guest sat. Mm-hmm. Like when you were on the show the first time, that flag was behind you.
Yeah.
That I've had, and I'll cycle that through like the Huntsville downtown picture that. But I'm also just saying, is simple better? I don't really want to like populate the walls with tons of things.
Well, as long as you don't put a picture of me like back behind you, you're going to be in good shape.
Well, it depends on what year it could be. Couldn't be like you were 16 with pulled up socks. And
that would have been good. Anything where I had dark hair would have been good.
That's right. Here's the real Joel Lamp.
This is what I looked like before I had a kid, got married, and life hit me square between the eyes.
So some things have changed in the world since you were on last. And
just a little.
One is the proliferation of ChatGPT. Now, we are both, though, in matching jackets from last year's Conference USA tournament.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to get to all of that. That's why you're here today. However, ChatGPT, AI, is a thing now. And it may have been a thing when you were on as a guest before, but it's now like people are incorporating that into their everyday lives, right? And more people are using it. So I like to now use ChatGPT to prepare for my guests, and let's have ChatGPT give us kind of the bio on who Joel Lamp is.
Boy, this is going to be fantastic.
Oh, well, I got to put my glasses on.
I should have prepared and figured out who I was from ChatGPT before.
All right, so Joel Lamp, sports tourism and event development professional in Huntsville, Alabama, known for helping bring major sporting events and tournaments to the city. You agree with that?
I would say so. Yes. Okay.
So, it's going to kind of
go through one.
It's going to go through professional role. You're the sports development manager for Huntsville, Madison County Convention and Visitors Bureau. In this role, he works to recruit and organize sporting events that bring visitors, hotel stays, and national attention to Huntsville. But it's not just sporting, right? Do you do other events?
I do some. We dabble in auto shows, hobby shows, card shows,
flower and garden, gun shows, all that?
I get to stay away from the garden and gun shows.
Okay.
Thankfully.
So it's not just sports.
It's not just sports.
So that's I'll write something in to ChatGPT to
Please don't.
be more fulsome.
Because the last thing I need is another car show phone call right now.
Anyway, so it's, you're involved in the Huntsville Sports Commission, universities and sports governing bodies, event promoters and leagues, born indicator, as I mentioned, 20 plus years in this. You're a graduate of Jacksonville University. Jacksonville State, I forgot that.
I went to the Harvard of Northeast Alabama, and then worked at Jacksonville University for almost 10 years.
I've been here 4 years, and these are the types of details. It takes me a while to cement in my brain.
So the best was when we moved to Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
I'm starting to work at JU, and a couple of people were like, "Oh, where'd you go to school at?" I went to Jacksonville State. They're like, "We've got a Jacksonville State in town?" I'm like, No, Jacksonville, Alabama. There's a Jacksonville, Alabama? I was like, yes, and it and Jacksonville, Florida have a lot in common. They both have a big statue in the middle of downtown that disrupts traffic, and the difference in population is 2 zeros.
That's funny. Jacksonville State, and then let's see. You help, and we're going to talk about Conference USA, of course, because that kicks off next week here in the Rocket City. Various niche and emerging sports events like beach volleyball. I think you guys did some Paralympic stuff.
We got Paralympic cycling coming up in September. We've hosted the table tennis national championships. So we'll dabble a little bit in and there, trying to find some niche opportunity. There's riches and niches.
Oh, I like that.
Yes,
you should coin that.
Somebody, I'm stealing that from somebody else. But that's one of the things that's really kind of hammered home with us. We don't have a lot of big venues. We're not going to get the Super Bowl. We're not going to get the college football playoff. But hey, we can go host the table tennis national championship. We can go host some big hockey tournaments coming up with the new ice rink.
Curling?
We're talking to curling. We're able to do some different things that stand out a little bit that also fit our destination. We are not your typical southern destination. We've got a very transient population base. That's why we have a huge hockey complex, right? We've got figure skating, ice hockey, and now we've got one of the largest curling clubs outside of the upper Midwest. And so for us, it's hey, what do we have from a population? What are people interested in? And then marrying that with the opportunities around the country. Yeah.
Concluding this, Bonnie, is that the right spelling of your wife?
That is.
And your son, Steven. I want to start with Steven. And I think this is a proud father segment because I've played golf with you and Steven. I think Steven once, with you a couple times, and I feel like I appreciate our friendship. Yeah, I don't get to have friends with every guest that comes on. You don't connect with every guest in a way, but I think it's fun to hang out with you, get to know you more, play some golf at Burning Tree, and to see him now not only competing, because when I think I first played with you guys, and it's hard for young kids. We talk about this as a golfer, right? It's a mental thing. And they can have all the skill and ability in the world. They can bomb it. By the way, John Daly's son is tied for second right now in his PGA Tour debut.
He's legit. I'm going to divert back to Huntsville. I'm going to bring it Huntsville-centric for a minute. So JD2 is getting his first PGA Tour start.
Yep.
Phenomenal kid. Really is working at it. He knows he's not his dad and he can't just show up, roll out of the cart, take a couple swings to go to the first tee.
A few beers before.
Few beers before, a couple of Hooters wings, and hey, I'm going to go to the first tee. To see him kind of bust out of his dad's shadow this week, that's been fun to see. But also for us here in Huntsville, we've got a couple of kids that are playing at a high level.
Dunlap.
We've had Dunlap. He's won on the tour. Tyler Watts is the next up-and-coming Dunlap. He's 18 years old. He's going to Tennessee. He's already played in 2 PGA Tour events and made the cut in both. And he's not even out of high school yet. So, and then my son is he's not on that level yet, but it's fun to watch him blossom in the last 6 to 9 months with his golf game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the aspect of the mental thing has to happen for all the players.
Absolutely,
but it's fun to see a kid who every year they're gonna get physically stronger, mentally stronger. The game may change. It's going to just keep progressing, right? And to see the difference between the sophomore and the junior and the senior right into college, and then just see who actually makes it and appreciate how hard it is to make it.
That's the thing that is amazing is you think about the number of golfers who try for the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
There's going to be 20-something guys that are going to sign up for the U.S. Open. Okay. Narrow it down. There's only 100 PGA Tour cards right now. You've got to be one of the top 100 golfers in the world to get to that. There's 20,000 guys who have a handicap of 2 or better that are qualifying for the U.S. Open. Just the sheer numbers to get to that point. Then you got knuckleheads like you and me who think, hey, one day, I've got no shot at the U.S. Like, I'm hoping I might can get my handicap down to qualify to play in the qualifier for the Mid-Am.
Yeah.
No idea that I'm going to make it. But seeing Steven come in the last year and really dial it in, and we go back to the mental thing. One of the biggest things we've been trying to focus on is the next shot.
Yeah.
You can't correct what's happened. You can only focus on what's in front of you. Don't look at the 2 holes in front of you. What's directly in front of you. And so he won a tournament back in the fall. Walks off the 18th green. He had opened with 11 straight pars.
Wow.
I mean, had some really good looks, just couldn't get anything to fall. And then all of a sudden, he plays a 4-hole stretch, 3 under par, 4 birdies and a bogey. He chips in from 30 yards out on a really hard par 3. Pretty much stole a shot and a half from the field.
Yeah.
He walks off the 18th green and looks at me. He's like, "Hey, Dad, what did I shoot?" Had no clue
That's awesome.
whatsoever what his score was.
Locked in.
And so it's been really fun to kind of see that come to fruition. And, as a parent, we're always trying to guide him, right?
Yeah.
We kind of give him a little bit of a leash. He's a phenomenal kid, got a 4.0 GPA. I don't know where he got the brains from. It certainly wasn't me.
Recessive gene.
There was somebody way back in the Lamp family that's coming out. But it's fun to see him take the ownership of this now and realize, okay, hey, A, I'm good. B, I can be really good if I keep working at this.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to kind of be around it now. And the bad thing was he had this first term of the year. I couldn't go Monday because we had meetings and work, but I was going to take off Tuesday to go watch him play. He goes out and shoots 73.
Yep.
He's like 4 shots out of the lead, and he's like, I'm like, "Hey, are you still okay with me coming?" He's like, you know what, Dad? Don't jinx it. Just stay back. I'll see you when I get home. I'm like, okay, all right. So
Where was it at again?
Tuscaloosa
And okay.
North River.
Right.
So it was a good start to the season for him, and now it's like, okay, hey, let's go tee it up. How many times can I tee it up, and how fast can I get back out there?
Yeah.
Which is great to see.
Well, you know what's amazing, too, because I looked at that scorecard when he shot a 73, and I've played in, we don't want to belabor it, I've played in the U.S. Open qualifier.
Right.
I played in Mid-Am qualifiers, and I played in the Virginia Amateur. And that's when it just gets to your head, and you're in the tournament, and you're getting pressure, and you really have a benchmark of, like, can I play in tournaments? But he started out birdie, then he had doubled 3.
Yep.
I think he had 3 doubles on the round, but
yeah.
he rebounded every time. So rather than most golfers will just tank it. Like once you hit a double or something, like they can't come back from it.
That tournament a year ago, he went 96-86.
Wow.
That double would have been a double, bogey, triple sequence a year ago. Instead, it's birdie, double, birdie.
Yeah, 7 birdies.
7 birdies. We needed to figure out what irons to hit on par 3s. Since he played the par 3 6 over par that day. But again,
it's learning.
It's a learning curve. Where he's at with his game and everybody's golf journey is different.
Yeah.
And so it's been fun to see his kind of starting to blossom. There's a ton of really good golfers that are coming out of North Alabama, whether it's Tyler, Bailey and Rollins Sutter out of Coleman that play at Burning Tree. Mm-hmm. You've got Brian Henson, who's at Alabama now. You've got a ton of really good players that are coming out of this age group. So there's a lot of iron sharpening iron around North Alabama right now.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
I know that's fun.
It's been a blast. It's been a blast.
But I know it's nerve-wracking as a parent, particularly in a slower sport where the drama builds and you can't do anything for your child if they're struggling.
And the worst part is, because with the rules of golf, you can't say anything.
Yeah.
You can't be like, Steven, go hit it harder. Hey, you got to really swing at this one. You can't say anything. You just got to be like, hey, good shot, or hey, good putt.
Yeah.
And so usually what I do is I walk a shot ahead. So that way, A, he can't see me. B, he can't see my reaction. And I try to do more of a poker face whenever I'm out with him. So it makes it fun.
Not like,
oh, no.
What are you doing?
Now, we had to do that when he was younger to explain, like, why are we dropping behind a tree? Well, it's the closest spot. Well, no, the rules allow you to do some different things. Oh, okay. Don't double penalize yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're wearing the jackets.
Yes, we are.
Sponsored, my company Mantech sponsored last year. We're sponsoring this year. I think last time, of course, we touched on Conference USA. We touched on lots of things.
We were just getting into hosting CUSA when we first got on the show.
And you got a 2-year basically a 2-year deal with an option for a third year, which is this is the third year.
This is the third year.
And then serendipitously, the news comes out Friday that they re-upped you for 3 more years.
Yes,
of the tournament, right?
Yes,
Plus
sir. other events.
Go ahead.
Extension and expansion. So this partnership with Conference USA has been really fortuitous for Huntsville. Conference USA is growing with the world changing in college athletics. They've had a kind of change in membership. And when you look at their footprint that stretches from Las Cruces, New Mexico to Newark, Delaware, and all the way to Miami.
It's a whole country.
It's now really, when they say Conference USA, we're covering it. And when you try to find a central point, you throw a dart, and it's pretty freaking close to Huntsville.
Yeah.
And so we've been able to build this partnership with them, bringing their league together in a great basketball venue. The Von Braun Center, if you've never been to a basketball game there, it is a phenomenal environment. The sight lines are fantastic. You can be upstairs. You could be in the worst seat in the building, and it's still a really good seat compared to a lot of other places.
Yeah.
So what we've been able to do is really work with them, create that atmosphere, and focus on making this the best championship experience from the minute they arrive to the minute they leave. How can we make Conference USA feel welcome? Because this is the biggest event. They've been working 6 months for this 1 week.
Yeah.
We're sending 2 teams. We're sending 1 men's and 1 women's team to the NCAA tournament next Saturday night. So being able to do that and have a piece of March Madness start in Huntsville, this is as big a piece of March Madness as we can get with our facilities. So hey, let's own that part of March Madness, have a great experience, and roll out the balls and see what happens. We've seen the growth of it year over year, and so we're really excited about year 3.
Yeah, and last time when we spoke, we talked, because you're also the co-host and facilitator, or I guess the lead host of the Business and Sports Tourism podcast,
right?
And shout out to your colleagues that are, I think, in Fort Worth, and one's in Washington State,
Spokane, and Grand Junction, Colorado.
And you bring on various people for that, and it's enlightening. Last time we talked a lot about the aspects of hotels, things to do, restaurants, that kind of experience. And I actually ran this through ChatGPT as well. And I want to, as far as why does Conference USA like Huntsville? What is it about it? So here's the number one. And I just have to ask for a correction, or when it says strong, modern facilities. Now, the Probst Arena was built in 1975. And I think the first concert was Elvis Presley. No, it was not Elvis Presley.
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash. That's right. So it's old. However, what makes it appealing, so the size is perfect, like you're saying, right? Yeah, it might be an older facility, but I think the East Wing and the North Hall, the South Hall, the other aspects of it make it attractive.
So the one thing you've got to give credit to our friends at the VBC for, they have, over the last decade, really made it a focus of modernizing the facility. So when it talks about modern facilities, it is not modern in the structure,
right?
But what they have done is come back and make it modernized, have some of the amenities. Hey, we've got suites. Hey, we've got an upgraded locker room area. Being able to connect to East Hall. So now the band and cheer teams can go warm up over there, and they don't affect what we've done this 2 years now. I don't ever have to deal with band and cheer because they're in the other building. They've got their own space. They can go do whatever they want. So we've been able to build that model where the event kind of lives throughout the VBC. And when they talk about that venue, it's a perfect size for a conference championship like this. Great sight lines. It looks really good on television. And so when you go back to, like, why do we want it? Well, one, obviously, is the economic impact. We're filling a boatload of beds. I mean, we're going to put more than 5,000 room nights together.
I think they said it was like a $50 million impact.
No. That's
different.
It's different.
Okay.
It's about $3 million for the week.
Okay.
We'll have 5,500 room nights over that next week. But we will also we always look at things in kind of different buckets: economic impact, community, the community. Quality of life. This is a phenomenal quality of life experience because it's the biggest part of March Madness we can host. We can't get the first and second rounds, but we can host a conference championship. We're sending 2 teams to March Madness. So from a quality of life standpoint, we're able to add that. And then on the third bucket is marketing opportunities. If you're in, and you understand this, if you're in the space world, people know about Huntsville already. If you're in the military world, everybody knows about Huntsville. We're always looking for more people to come to town. We've got great jobs, great opportunities. How do we tell Huntsville's story in a different way? We can do it through sports. And being able to have 4 nationally televised games next week on CBS Sports Network, we're able to showcase Huntsville in a different light. Oh, hey, if something happens and they're looking at a job, also, man, I remember watching that basketball game. Okay, they've got stuff happening in Huntsville. It's not some unheard of city and destination. And so if we can continue to do that, that's, we look at those 3 pillars as for our events. And so if it hits all 3 pillars, it really moves up the totem pole for us.
Who are the top competitors that didn't win, cities-wise?
We got this from Frisco, Texas. Frisco, they were playing, again, different world, different set of circumstances. At the time, Conference USA had 14 teams, and they wanted everybody in one building. And so they were playing at the Cowboys practice facility. Okay. And they had 2 courts going at the same time on the football field.
But that's not good for television.
It's not good for television. It was a little bit different setup, but it addressed their need of bringing everybody to a central location, having both men's and women's tournaments at the same time, and not excluding teams. Hey, if you're in the league, you've got a chance in the postseason. Now coming here this year, hey, we've got 12 teams in the 12 schools in the conference. Only 10 are coming to Huntsville. Yeah. And so we're able to provide a little bit better environment and experience because one of the things we talked about was if you want to bring all 12, we're going to have to go to a second venue to make the schedule even work. We don't have a place where we can put 2 courts in and create that equal experience.
So back on the Frisco thing, my mind is spinning on this. I'm wondering, was it the fact that Conference USA just wasn't at a point yet to draw the right market, like a Huntsville, to have a single arena, look good on TV, not have it on a football field with 2 courts going? In a way, that's, it kind of is like, hey, are they ready for the big leagues? I'm just going to say, this is just my observation. Then it's like, well, wait a minute, Conference USA is catching on. Maybe there's more interest. Now let's actually try to find a venue in a city where we can kind of have that single focus. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's anytime you look at this from the conference standpoint, it's a number of factors. One, but the first and foremost is does it make sense financially? Can you do it? Yeah. And so we've got a great deal with them. Everybody's happy with that. 2, how do you create that environment? But it's got to be a neutral site. You don't want to play it in Shreveport and knowing that's 30 minutes away from Louisiana Tech. Well, now if Louisiana Tech's good, here comes all these Louisiana Tech people, and then it makes it really hard for everybody else in the conference to get their fans there.
Sure.
So from a Huntsville standpoint, we offer a central location. 4 or 5 of the teams are within driving distance now.
Yeah.
You've got an easy access. If they are flying, it's easy to fly into Huntsville.
Yeah.
And then you throw in the fact that from a venue standpoint, it's a really good basketball venue, and your fans and the players can have a great experience. You're not playing in a football stadium. You're not playing in a manufactured facility. You're playing in a facility that looks like it has basketball all the time.
Yeah.
And so I think when you marry all of that together, along with a great walkable downtown, you throw in the growing demographics of Huntsville. This is a place that's booming that you want to be in.
Yeah.
I think you marry all that together. I think that's how we got to this point.
Was it a competitive extension, or they just gave you an extension?
We had an opportunity we started talking right during last year's event about we knew we'd already extended out to the 3rd year, and we started talking about, okay, hey, are we happy with this, and let's go for another 3 years. And so that's played out over the last 6 to 9 months, and we announced on Friday that we've got 3 more years, but we also are adding beach volleyball. So we're going to host their beach volleyball championship for the next 3 years. We're also going to host their cross country championship 2 of the next 3 years. So being able to take the basketball tournament, let's add some other stuff to it, has made it a little bit more of a better deal for all of us.
Like from a business perspective, is this a proposal to them saying, hey, consider this?
Absolutely.
Package these 3 events together versus they put out an RFP and you responded to it?
Correct.
Okay.
We went back to them as we started talking. It's like, okay, hey, you guys like Huntsville. We like having you.
Yeah.
We've got a beach volleyball complex. You've got a beach volleyball tournament. Why are you trying to go find a different venue every year? Yeah. Hey, let's marry everything together. You know how we operate. Let's provide that same level of experience with your beach volleyball tournament. Hey, we are one of the top cross country venues in the nation. Bring your cross country championship here and give your kids that opportunity to compete on a facility that's going to host the regionals. That's in the mix to host a national championship. Being able to provide that experience for the kids and knowing that that's the level that we operate at went a long way from that standpoint.
I think, and you have to excuse me, I think too much of government contracting where they're like required to do this thing. And I sometimes forget that in other businesses, it's like, hey, we have this relationship. Let's continue this. You know, you're a customer. And
so the other one that is still floating out there,
they're a customer
in this process is their bowling championship.
Yeah,
and you're probably like they're bowling. What the heck? Conference USA has bowling. Not only do they have bowling, we're in the deep end of the pool against who we're competing against. So we're competing against Vanderbilt's home bowling alley. The University of Nebraska's home bowling alley, Wichita State's home bowling alley, and then there's us. And we're the only neutral site, and we've talked with the team at Redstone Lanes about hosting it. But when you think about who I just mentioned, those are the perennial powers of NCAA bowling. Conference USA sent of the Final Four, 3 of the teams came out of Conference USA last year.
Interesting.
And so we're partnering. Hopefully, that'll get across the finish line in the next couple of months. But that's one that we can continue to grow. Again, it's a niche, but hey, if we can find it and really cultivate that one, there's some bigger opportunities for us down the road.
If you could, I want you to comment on this picture. This is the. Oh shoot, where is it? There it is. I'm going to bring up a video. I'm not going to play it because you're not in it.
Okay, good.
That's all I care about. So you got Mark Russell in the middle. I don't see Joel Lamp in this picture. So
I think I was off trying to get everybody organized for the picture, and they took it real quick.
Are you able to identify each of the people in this?
Yeah. So
picture?
This is the Sports Commission board.
Okay.
That's up on the screen. We work hand in hand with the gang at the Sports Commission across the board. Mark and I talk at least once a day. I think we may talk to each other more than we do our wives, with the idea of how do we make Huntsville a great sports destination?
Yeah.
What are the events? How do they fit the 3 buckets that we talked about earlier? But also, how do we make these events better? How do we provide that experience? One of our selling points is we focus on the experience. Our number one goal is that when you leave Huntsville, you want to come back to Huntsville as fast as possible. And so the team at the Sports Commission is fantastic. I don't get to do what I do without them. And so it's a tremendous amount of teamwork. Any event that we do requires a ton of teamwork, whether it's the CVB, the Sports Commission, the Chamber, the VBC, Parks and Recreation, the city administration, City Hall, whatever it is, it takes all of us to pull together to make those things happen. And that doesn't happen in a lot of cities, but the seamless integration of everybody pulling in the same direction to make great things happen for Huntsville is one of the best things that goes on in this city.
Is the contract with the Conference USA in the Convention and Visitor Bureau's name or the
All
Sports
of us.
Commission? All of you. Okay. Is there more than that, the 2 entities?
VBC.
And the VBC. Okay,
Yep.
so the 3 of you. And then you each have requirements for...
Yeah. We all have, for the most part, that event, it's, hey, how do we go and make it a great event? And, hey, here's the baseline of what we're going to do to run a basketball tournament. Hey, you're going to make sure you got the goals, the court. Hey, we're going to have an extra space to do this. Hospitality, here's the baseline requirements, and then we're going to go meet and exceed those goals.
And then you have to work on like revenue sharing and stuff with
ticket
Conference
sales,
USA,
sponsorships, all that stuff.
food
Absolutely.
and concessions.
Yes.
Can I tell you a funny story? I was just in Australia with my wife, right? And even though we speak English, and they speak English, they speak it different. An example is the letter H. They say H.
Yes.
Right. And so like it kind of makes sense when you think of like height or him or her, but they actually in the letter they pronounce it. So we go to a mansion. It was like the first day we're there. We go to some mansion that's on a hill, and we're just trying to like stay awake and go to bed. I think I went to bed at 5:30 that night. I was so tired. But so we paid to take this tour of this like mansion, and the lady says, "Do you have any concessions?" And I'm like, I'm thinking like a concession stand. I'm like, doesn't look like the place where there's popcorn and Snickers bars. I'm like, what? Like, excuse me? You feel so stupid when you're speaking English to someone else in a developed country. And I'm like, I don't know what you mean. And she meant like discounts, like a military discount or, AAA or something.
It's amazing.
Concession.
This language is amazing, and I would hate to learn it as a second language.
Oh, I know.
I barely know it as a first language. I was very fortunate to sneak out of Jacksonville State with my degree and my minor in English. But it's amazing how you go to England, certain words mean completely different things. You go to Australia, it's a completely different lexicon. It's a different dialect that we're like, what the heck are you saying? You go to Scotland and that's even different than the British version. It's amazing how this language morphs everywhere you go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, you feel so stupid.
Well, and as a guy who speaks very fluent Southernese, when you go up north and they're like, oh, I know exactly where you're from. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah. Last point on that. I've always felt like I was raised where, and I always didn't like to say, where's the restroom? I wanted to say, where's the bathroom? But it's really weird to say, where's the toilet?
Correct.
And that's what they do, and it's in their signage and all that, right? But it just feels weird as an American.
I'll never forget the first time I saw a WC on the side of a portalet, and I was like, what the heck's a W? Like, is that his personal one? Like, am I supposed to?
Wayne Childress.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, is that? Oh no, it's a water closet. Got it. I'm like, okay, who named it water closet?
I need some water. Go get some out of the closet.
Exactly.
Let's talk about some of the brainstorming that's going on with the other venues in town. Do you have plans at Joe Davis Stadium and Wicks Family Field?
So we're doing our first college football game, neutral site game, coming up in August. North Alabama is going to play Samford. That'll be, I think it's the last Saturday in August. It'll be week 0, which is a oxymoron in and of itself. But we've been working with UNA in the last couple of years. We had a great experience with them at Toyota Field 3 years ago, and so we're like, okay, hey, when do y'all want to come back? Know that you're building your stadium on campus, and when you do, that's going to be a big priority. Hey, in the interim, let's find a way to fit in and use Joe Davis to do that.
Yeah.
And so we've been able. NCAA lifted the week 0 hiatus. Everybody in the FCS can play 12 games now and play on week 0. So we were fortunate to get UNA and Samford here last Saturday in August, and hopefully start a new tradition. We're going to roll this out this fall and see what happens. I think it'll be a fun for everybody to have something different from a college football perspective, and a different way of using the stadium. We've looked at a lot of different opportunities. We've hosted the Junior College Soccer National Championship in there. We will host the NCAA Division II men's and women's soccer championships there in December of 27. But being able to bring a college football game there is something we've really been looking forward to, and we're fortunate that we're going to get that off the ground later this year.
Tangential question. I wasn't planning to ask this, but you all are not just involved at the collegiate level. It's high school, college.
It's everything.
It could be anything.
It can be anything. We've kicked the tires on trying to do a neutral site high school event, kickoff event. Easier said than done. And so we're working, that may be a 28, 29 opportunity. We've talked with USA flag football as that ramps up to 28 in the Olympics. Hey, where are they going? Are they going to the national team? All of those things. Having conversations like we want to be involved in that. There's some different ways we could set up the stadium that not a lot of places can, and really make it a really cool experience from a flag football standpoint. We've kicked the tires on the soccer, especially college, but we're looking at some bigger youth tournaments. We host the AYSO national games coming up in the summer of 27. How do we use that venue as part of that, doing the opening ceremonies? Do we have it where the championship games are there? It's a fantastic tool in our toolbox to be able to use for anything and everything from that standpoint.
What about like the Montesano trails, like mountain biking and stuff like that? Is that?
It's in the mix. Again, that one's easier said than done. We've got a lot of robust ultra marathon trail running events in our universe. We don't want to step on those. Yeah. And it's trying to marry up some of those opportunities. We've talked with Ironman about doing some endurance races, trying to marry all that together, how we can do it safely and meet some of our goals. And then the ultra marathons, that's a completely different element of event, if you will, because you got to have the tent city. You got to be able to have a 50-mile course that they can do laps around. I'm like, laps at 50 miles. Okay. All right. That's a little much. Like, we're used to 5Ks for cross country. Now you're wanting 50 miles. Okay. But using some stuff at Montesano, we have done, we're looking at that. We've got the mountain bike trail also at John Hunt Park. And so our local groups do a lot of events with that. The other one that kind of sneaks out there that a lot of people don't know is we have a huge disc golf community. Yeah. And so we're hosting the World Amateur Disc Golf Championship next summer, summer of 27. And the focus will be the championship final round will be at John Hunt Park. But we'll also use Sharon Johnson Park in the county. We'll use Sunshine Oaks in Madison, and then we'll use Maston Lake course. So we're going to be spreading 600 disc golfers for a week all over Madison County. And so it's funny, Huntsville was one of the forerunners of disc golf. I'd like, again, go back, riches and niches. Huntsville figured it out 50 years ago with disc golf. And two guys that are legendary in that world, Tom Monroe and Levon Wolf. Tom passed away a little over a year ago, and then Levon is still amazingly active in designing courses. He's one of the top disc golf course designers in the world. And so having those two guys build the foundation for disc golf and what we're able to do now. It's been really fun to work with Levon and the rest of the team on that.
What's the format like for a disc golf tournament?
I'll tell you next summer.
Okay.
No, it's similar to golf. Hey,
4 days.
4 days. You and I are going to tee off at 8:30. We're going to play our 18. We'll turn in our scorecard, and then we're going to reset and come back the next day. There's some other things that that come with the World Championship, like a long drive contest, a putting contest. Some of those things that we can do, make it fun. And with the setup at John Hunt Park, we've got a ton of acreage to go do some different things that not necessarily every disc golf course does in the country.
Tuck the I don't know if they call it a pin or the goal behind a tree, so you got to hook it or draw it.
So there's one hole that is like behind the finish line of the cross country, and it literally is like in a cluster of trees. It's in the middle of it. We've got the 18th hole. It finishes, and you have to throw over a lake. So there's a lot of strategy out there around that course, a lot of hazards.
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of trees out there, but where they are very strategic and come into play.
That's cool. That's good design.
Yes.
They just built a disc golf course over here off the Bradford Creek Trail. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the name of the park is. I guess it's a park.
That's Sunshine Oaks.
That's Sunshine Oaks? Oh,
yes.
Okay. Cool. I've always run. I run the trail. I've never parked in the parking lot to see the signage.
So Sunshine Oaks has a unique hole where
it's brand new. It's
like a
less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years old. It's got one hole that's got a big rocket display in the middle, and it's got a big pit. And you tee off, and essentially instead of them building a water hazard and making it an island, it's a man-made island. And if you don't hit it, it's a stroke penalty, and you got to go back and either re-tee or play from where your disc landed at or whatever.
Yeah.
And so there's some fun stuff like that out there.
You know, this makes me think of I've been thinking a lot lately about like pickleball. And if you ever, I would be a subject of a focus group. I don't find it to be like a spectator sport. I enjoy pickleball more than I do tennis, but I like watching tennis. And it's caused me to think as to why. You know, what is it in spectator sports that you either like to watch even if you don't play it, there's something you appreciate, versus those things like, I don't want to watch that, but I'll play it. You know, and
I think I use the golf and tennis perspective. The people that play at the highest level do something so well that you're in amazement and you want to see what are they going to do next. When we do the Conference USA tournament, this is somebody we're sending a team to the NCAA tournament that thinks that they can go win multiple games in the NCAA tournament. It's not like they're coming here to, hey, we're just going to be happy that we made March Madness. No, they're thinking, hey, we can go compete with Alabama and Auburn. Hey, all we're asking for is to get the shot the next weekend. Being able to get to that level, what they can do with whatever sport it is. I think pickleball is so young.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks, oh, that's that game for old people. I can do that. That everybody can do that. It hasn't quite gotten that traction that, okay, what they do is really freaking special that only they can do.
Well, and there's two things I think, because I've been thinking about distance and then like speed. Or like when you watch a baseball, you want to see someone hit a 500-foot home run. You want to see in football a quarterback who can throw 80 yards, like something that's like unhuman.
Right.
In basketball, how high can they jump? You know, can they dunk from the free throw line? Things that just amaze you because it's so superhuman. They're like in a class of their own. In tennis, how powerful of a serve. You know, I kind of miss Andy Roddick.
Right.
Like who's going to hit 140 miles an hour, whatever it might be. Pickleball, I think the downside is then you serve, but then it slows down, and it's they're dinking and dunking, which is fine, and old people can play it. But like as a spectator, I want to see a smash serve and volleyball. You know, it's like it's speed. It's like, you know what I mean?
No question.
And so then like disc golf is tough because then you just need more cameras. Like you'd have to have.
It's why televising a golf tournament, disc golf, anything over that amount of acreage, a polo match. Polo is over like 5-6 football fields.
Yes.
It is not.
Yeah.
When you see it on ESPN, you're like, oh, why isn't this on more often?
Yeah.
Well, it's because they got to go run 2 to 3 miles of wire to one camera, and they got to have 4 cameras to do a shoot. If you watch a PGA Tour event, there's at least 20 miles of cable across a golf course.
And a lot of times, like in congressional, as much as people are like, oh, the U.S. Open's a congressional, but guess what? The members hate it because they close down the other course that's not the championship course.
Right.
And they build all of the hospitality, all that stuff there, the parking, and it just like tears apart the course.
Absolutely.
You know?
And so I think pickleball is slowly getting there.
Yeah.
Where you have the personalities. You haven't had that person. You haven't had that
That's
Tiger
true.
Woods.
Right.
You haven't had the Jack Nicklaus, the Andy Roddick, the Michael Chang, Pete Sampras. You haven't had that person break through into the normal conversation of sports. Look at what Caitlin Clark did for women's basketball.
Yeah.
Now it's everybody's talking in the sports world about the WNBA and women's basketball and everything because of her. You haven't had that transcendent athlete. And not having it in the Olympics is another piece of that puzzle. Every 4 years, coming off the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, every 4 years, we all become experts on curling.
Mm-hmm.
We know nothing about it until the 4th year. Like, why is he trying that double takeout? He really should try to get a shot to the button and just force them to make a shot. We don't know, and we don't understand how hard that shot is to execute, but we become experts at it, right?
Well, you picked up the terminology.
You're talking to a guy who is a proud curling club member. So this is not I can talk curling all day. But being able to have that, pickleball hasn't been able to do that. Pickleball has blown up from a participation standpoint.
Yeah, sure.
And I can't wait till we get our 25 courts open at John Hunt Park. Talk about venues. When we open that thing up later this year, that's going to be a fantastic venue.
Let me segue this next, but how cautious do you all have to be on trying to host an event if maybe it's just not there yet, spectator wise? You know what I mean?
Somewhat. One of the things that when you look at some of these events, it's a baseline of just participation numbers.
Yeah.
So a pro pickleball event, if you will, it looks like a pro pickleball event is like 64 to 120 people, right? But actually, if you got like a PPA Tour event, there are like 4 or 5 other tournaments that come with it. It's a week-long event.
Yeah.
You and I will go sign up and play in one of the Monday, Tuesday tournament.
Yeah.
And it's this big umbrella of pickleball.
Then we'll both be in the pro-am.
Correct. And then we'll both be sitting there on the sideline real freaking quick.
Yeah.
But that's where one of the things we go back always kind of look at is that, hey, what's your baseline numbers from a participation standpoint?
Yeah.
And then we can kind of go back from that. One of the things we've seen, the one that we brag about all the time is cross country. I think we did 13 cross country meets last year. The average number of athletes was like 1,300 for a meet.
Wow.
And so if we're bringing 1,300 people in,
that's true. You're worried about revenue to the city,
correct,
versus spectator, of course.
Correct. We want, don't get me wrong, we want the perfect mix is the event that has a ton of spectators and a ton of fans.
Yeah.
If we can find that one, and it brings a ton of TV coverage. If we can find that one,
but you'd also know that participants have to eat 3 meals a day.
Bingo.
They have to stay somewhere,
and that's where you've seen us dive into track and field more. We've really got cross country down to where if you told me, hey, you want to run a cross country meet on Tuesday, hey, you tell me on Sunday, hey, we're good to go. We need 48 hours. We can get the timing company. We've got everybody. They know their roles. Yeah. Boom. We can do a cross country meet. What we've been able to do now is build a relationship with USA Track and Field. We hosted the Masters National Championship last year. We had athletes from ages 25 to 95 compete in it. You and I do not want any part of the over 90 100-meter dash. I'll show you the video of that one. I've got it on YouTube. I was like, the guy won it like 20 seconds. I'm like, I might need a sundial to do it with 100 meters. We had like a number of world records set, and you're watching these athletes, and you're like, I'm 40 something, and I'm like
20 seconds.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's good.
This guy's 92, and he's hauling, and I'm like, what's my problem?
You're gonna pull a hammy in the first 10 meters.
Oh, I did 10. Heck, I'm gonna pull a hammy getting in the starting block. And so we started with that. So we got 1,000 athletes, and they brought family and friends. Mm-hmm. Well, now this summer we're going to host the USA Track and Field Youth Outdoor Nationals in June. We're going to bring somewhere between 1,300 and 1,600 kids to Huntsville to compete for a week. Well, now when you get into the kids, now we're talking parents, we're talking grandparents, we're that family component, and it's a long stay. It's a minimum 2 to 3 night stay. Well, now they're definitely into the restaurants. They're definitely into the shops. They got to go do something to entertain the kids. Hey, they're going to go to the Space and Rocket Center. They're going to go to Burritt. They're going to go to Constitutional Village. They'll go to the Children's Museum. They're going to get to experience Huntsville. And so that's one of those where, okay, hey, there's little to no television coverage, but man, we've got an opportunity for our kids locally to stay home and compete on a national stage.
Yeah. And
we're bringing a whole different world of people to Huntsville that to compete for a national championship, it's really special for us.
Your appearance today is exactly like I've had a goal for this podcast, and that is to be more current, right? The Conference USA starts Tuesday, and here you are. It's Saturday, and I'm gonna release this on Tuesday as well, Tuesday morning. So it coincides, right?
Yep.
That's, it's hard to do that when you're trying to book shows in the future. I travel a lot, and then I'll do 2 or 3 episodes. I might edit at night in the hotel room while I'm gone, but currency is where I want to be. And I'm really hoping that if I can capture the attention of any news station to say, let's say WHNT just did a story on you all, on the Sports Commission and the Conference USA coming, and you're going to get that 1 minute, 5 minute, segment. That's fine. That's their business. I want to be able to then to be the full story. Then tune into the Our Town podcast, and we're going to have an hour and a half discussion with Joel Lamp about this. That's kind of like what I want to see, and then just be current with that.
I think there's definitely a market for that, and especially when you think about like all the big things that are happening in Huntsville, whether it's selfishly what we're doing in a sports standpoint, but also what's happening with the business side. Eli Lilly coming to town. Mm-hmm. Okay, hey, that's a big freaking deal.
Yep.
How much work went into that? How long did that process take?
Who else was interested,
yeah.
or they were interested in?
Who else were they interested in? How high up did we have to go to put that deal together? Talking like the Conference USA deal. Hey, when you dive into it, everything kind of goes back to relationships and delivering on what you say you're going to deliver on. And we've done that with the basketball tournament, and what's funny is we got the basketball tournament because we had their beach volleyball tournament 4 years ago, and the assistant commissioner that runs the beach volleyball also does basketball, and so he's like, I've got him like, hey, I want to take you to our arena, mm-hmm. I want to show you around, and just get you to think a little bit differently. Hey, I know y'all got you're in flux with the membership, but hey, let's look at this. And we walked around. And he's like, all right, this could be very interesting. Let's see what you guys put together. And that was right when we had just announced we were doing the Auburn, North Carolina Asheville game. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, let's talk and put some thoughts on paper. And then voila, here we are, 2026, and we're talking about a 3-year extension.
I want to congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
If I didn't say the words congratulations, I mean it. I
No.
guess as a host, I'm always thinking about my next point. I don't want dead air. So it's not that I'm not happy. I went to Louisville the last couple of years for archery for my son.
Yes.
And then I recently was in Dallas, and I'd never been to Dallas. And I just went to go see Cowboy Stadium because I wanted to see AT&T Stadium. And going to Louisville was very interesting, and the planning that goes into the airport is right there. The convention center is right there. There's an amusement park right there. And when you hold the Nationals archery tournament, it's a great not only a great venue, just a big, massive convention center, right? But then all the other fun things. Oh, there's an amusement park, and actually the Kentucky Derby track is right there, Churchill Downs.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, that's really good planning that they thought through this. And then you go to Dallas, and you're like, oh, I think they have a AAA minor league stadium right next to, AT&T Field. And
no, that's where the Rangers. Isn't that where the Rangers?
Oh yeah. There's two of them. There's
Okay.
where the Rangers play, and there's the minor league stadium, and the Cowboy Stadium, and the convention center. And so certainly, I want to ask you your thoughts on that. Like, is this something where, like in DC, where I came from, Commanders fan, they're going to finally build a new stadium. The FedEx Field's an eyesore.
Yep.
I guess it was great. It seemed to be like kind of the first of the last, or like the last of this wave of stadiums.
So I think if they go back 30, 35 years ago, if they could go back in time, they would not have built it the way they built it.
Right.
I don't think it was very good from day one-ish, if you will, from a fan standpoint, and it just continually the rhetoric around it, where it was at, all any nitpicky thing, it just kept getting worse and worse from that standpoint. And so now coming back and building this new wave of stadiums that you're going to see, Buffalo is going to open theirs. My Jacksonville Jaguars are going to open theirs in 28. And I'm fascinated to see this when it's done, because having sat on the east side of the stands in that first game in September, and it's 95 degrees and you can fry bacon on the seat in front of you.
Yeah.
And you watch a Jaguars game and you're like, why is there nobody on that side of the stands behind the visiting team bench? Well, it's because it's 1,000,000 degrees and they're all sitting in the club waiting for it to cool off in the second half, and then they'll come out and watch the game. And so being able now to see what this next wave of stadiums is going to put an extreme value on premium seats. But what you're going to start seeing too is more of these districts, what you're hinting at with the convention center and the shopping retail. The Cowboys practice facilities in Frisco, their offices, practice facility, the whole thing is there. Okay, so you can also have your office headquarters at the Cowboys practice facility.
Yeah.
And your office as the CEO can be sitting there overlooking the Cowboys practice field.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper has their headquarters in Frisco, Texas, at the Cowboys practice facility. And so what the Cowboys were able to do was, yes, they've got AT&T Stadium, the whole development out there. Then they've got their office in Frisco and all of that. And what they were able to do is, hey, we've got the 15,000 seat venue. We're going to own and operate that. So they do high school. There's high school games there. They've done, obviously they've done basketball, but then they do lacrosse. They do a number of different things in that building throughout the year. And it's an amazing building, but it's an anchor of a development. There's restaurants. There's an Omni Hotel attached to the building. Across the street, there's a number of restaurants and shops. And so you're going to continue to see, like the Battery in Atlanta, you're going to see a lot of those continue to develop. Every major league team at this point right now, it doesn't matter what sport, they want to either build a new arena with that development attached to it, or they want to do an upgrade to their building and then do the real estate development so they can make money, not just on the 81 game nights or how many ever home games they do, that they've got 300 revenue coming in 365 days a year. Everybody has seen that Braves model and is jealous. And for us here, we've got a scaled down version of it in Town Madison. If you look at it from that standpoint, you've got the ballpark is the centerpiece. You're going to Town Madison 60 times a year, potentially, if you're a season ticket holder, 60, 70 times a year for a Trash Pandas game. Well, what are you going to do before? I'm probably going to go to Taco Mama and go have a quesadilla, and then I'm going to go to the game, and then I might go swing by the yards and have a milkshake, or, hey, I can go to Jay Alexander's, have a nice night out.
Walk-Ons is over there now.
Walk-Ons is over there now. So you've got a lot of things, but what's driving people there a lot of the time?
Toyota Field. Do you see in 20 to 30 years, it's hard to say like what the growth will be. I guess we'll continue to grow. I always say, well, watch the airport. Like you go to most airports in the country and there's certain airports that are just always busy. We're not really that busy yet, right? Like I fly a lot and, there's empty hallways. It's busy. It's in stretches, right?
Right.
But do you see a development around the airport and a stadium when, like, maybe we get a major league team or we get a different minor league team coming in here?
It'll be interesting to see what happens in the future. I like what you're saying about the airport. What we're seeing now with the growth of flights and airlines, getting Allegiant in here and doing the number of nonstops that they've got, that's fantastic. Adding the number of flights we've got to D.C. is staggering when you look at it.
It's like 4 on each airline a day.
3 or 4 a day.
Yeah.
And it's not like there's a lot of empty seats on those flights. And so being able to see that and how that's continuing to grow, and what the airport has done, like with the F&B amenities, taking it in, and now all of a sudden, hey, we're getting some craft brewer, we're getting some buy-in that, hey, it's not just I'm going to show up. My flight's at 8. I'm going to show up at 7:15. I know I can get through everything. And be at my gate at 7:45 and walk onto the plane as the last person on the plane. Those days are can start ending because, hey, I can go hang out. I can go relax before the flight and enjoy and kind of get settled in before I leave Huntsville.
Yeah.
So when you shift it towards future teams, never say never, but it's also going to be dependent about what happens in the radius of us. What happens in Nashville? Does Nashville get an MLB team? If they do, all right, well, now they've got to get a AAA baseball team. They got to get a AA, single A. They've got to get their whole infrastructure of a farm system.
Yeah.
What is that? How does that work? What does that mean? Does somebody roll the dice and get a pro franchise in Birmingham? If they do, what does that look like? What sport is it in? How does that, again, what's that support system mechanism that comes up that feeds the top level team? So it'll be interesting to see how that develops over the next few years. I would never say never about us getting a major league team because of where our growth is going.
Yeah.
You look at it, we're what, over 250,000, almost 270 now, population in Huntsville proper. We're what, over 400,000 in the county, and that number is not stopping anytime soon.
Yeah.
And so at some point, the demographics just naturally lend itself to that.
Yeah.
To go into that.
Interesting you bring up farm system. Let's bring it back to college. Let's talk about NIL and the effect that it's had on college. Because essentially what's happening, when you think of Conference USA, I was doing research on that. If a coach came to your house and they're recruiting you to play basketball in a Conference USA school, before they're selling you on whatever. You're going to come here, you're going to have a great career, you're going to have this and that. Now, with NIL, for that truly that person that might be able to play for Duke, let's say, but they're not ready yet. The pitch is come to Jacksonville State. You might start a year or two, develop, and then you can transfer and go wherever. And you're starting to see like this farm system or this. It's like the minor leagues shaping out because of NIL.
So it started. It's always been there, if you will. It never really got the bandwidth that you would recognize it until the transfer portal happened.
Gotcha.
Once the transfer portal and the immediate eligibility, hey, I don't have to. I'll never forget, we signed, this is when I was working at Jacksonville University. We're recruiting a power forward from Georgia. He was a role player at Utah who would end up being, if he came and played for us, he's going to probably be a starter because he's one of those kids you're not supposed to have, right, at a small mid-major school. But he was going to have to sit out a year. Well, we're trying to get him immediate eligibility because we're the only school that offers him a scholarship within 500 miles of his grandmother, who is the one who took care of him, and she is ill.
Okay.
And so we're throwing Hail Marys and literature to the NCAA asking for a waiver and all this. So with the transfer portal, it got all those shenanigans went right out the window, right? Hey, you transfer, you're immediately eligible. So then that opened up a lot of guys to go up. If you're the leading scorer. A great example is Jacksonville State. Jerron Pierre last year led the country in scoring, averaged about 28 a game, was in Conference USA. He's now at SMU, making 7 figures.
Really?
Yes. Came to Jacksonville State, crushed it, absolutely crushed it. Gets Jacksonville State to the second round of the NIT, goes and beats Georgia Tech last year, first round of the NIT, got up to the conference championship game, and then was able to parlay that. Hey, as soon as the season's over, hey, thanks for the opportunity. And Jacksonville State's like, hey, great, good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Go forth and prosper. You're seeing a lot of that happen almost, if you're not in the Power 4 leagues, that you're almost a junior college. Now, to a degree, but then you've got a team like Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Liberty just has won the regular season in Conference USA. They are a senior-laden group. They've played together for 3 years. They know how to win basketball games.
Yeah.
They're veterans. They're savvy. They know how they all play, that teamwork, camaraderie thing. And that's where there's certain things at a CUSA school you may be able to sell differently than you can at another mid-major school. You've got a little bit of NIL money that you can put in to your team. How do you use it? And I think a lot of people are looking at it as more, I've got a really good player. How do I retain said good player to keep him? Hey, if you give me 2 years, I can go get you a heck of a deal at a power school.
Yeah. I'm like we talked last time about PGA Tour and Live Golf, I think, but it's just like it's disappointing when you grow up. I'm 50 now. I've watched a lot of college football over the years. You can't turn on a broadcast anymore, and they even talk about what the kid is majoring in.
Right.
Nor is at the end of the game they would give out. It was like the Chevrolet Player of the Game $1,000 scholarship.
Yep.
It's like college. It's like, let's just be honest with ourselves. They're just not going to class, and we're using college as structure when we just rip it out of college and just create this semi-pro thing.
So, to a degree, but
I know I'm being like obtuse.
No. But so part of it now is, yes, there is a definite business aspect to it. When was the last time before the last 2 years you watched an Indiana football game?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
He's done something there, hasn't he?
All of a sudden, Indiana football is now able to compete on a national level because they're playing with the same rules and the same toys and the same game that everybody else is.
It's like Liberty, though.
Correct.
It's a cohesion.
Absolutely. Hey, they did it better than everybody else. So why is there somewhat to put? I like it the way it was. You liked it the way it was because there was 4 teams that knew I had a chance to win the national title.
Yeah.
And if it ever, and the funny thing is, like a couple of the podcast and national writers, like if it ever was just about money, your national title game would be Texas versus Texas A&M every year.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's not just about the money. It's about developing the team. It's about developing the relationships, that camaraderie. It's that piece that we see day to day in the corporate world, right? We have to build a team internally to go achieve our goals, whether it's financially, operationally, whatever that may be. We have to do that on a day-to-day basis. Now in college football, it's not just about, hey, I've got 20 blue chippers. Okay, well, in the years past, those 20 blue chippers went to 3 schools. Now those 20 blue chippers are going to 18 different schools.
Yeah.
So now you start spreading the talent out. You can start having an Indiana. You can start having a Vanderbilt. You can start seeing a James Madison competing on a national level.
So let me restate it. It's like the reason, like Our Town, right?
Right.
Our Town podcast. Let's say you live in you're in Decatur. Let's just say I grew up in Athens. My perfect world is we have who we have in Athens. You have who you have in Decatur. We get a coach, and the best team wins.
Right.
And some good sportsmanship. My town versus your town. And afterwards, if you lose, you got to figure out how we're going to beat Decatur.
Right.
And it's not. And this happens all the time in high school across the country. It's not like, well, we need to get so and so from here and get his parents to move. And no, let's just get better.
Correct.
Let's just get better. And so now in college, it's like saying, hey, you have the chance. You're recruiting. This has got to be. I would hate to be a coach and do the recruiting. You have to start over every year.
Right.
Roster shuffles. But like, why can't it just be, hey, Indiana recruited well. They're obviously showing this model, and not like, hey, we did well and I'm out. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over there. It's like, I just want to, you want to see like that. You want to appreciate the organization, the scouting, the coaching, and the players who all bought into a system. And it's the systems that are kind of competing where you can like, that's the better team.
So
make sense?
Completely. And I think one of the things you're about to see in the next 5 years is the resurgence of the military academies. Why? They don't fool with NIL. There's no transfer portal. They might lose a kid or two, but they're not losing a lot because there's NIL for the kids after they graduate, right?
That's true.
They walk in, they know they've got a job, they got 5 years minimum service, right? But you're also building that team and that cohesion, and that's why 2 years ago you saw Navy or Army go undefeated until they played Notre Dame, right? And then they just kind of ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Navy was in the national conversation again last year. You're seeing those guys build a program the way we've always thought it could be. But you're also going to see some of these schools that are doing it differently and a little bit smarter. Vanderbilt. Hey, we've been decent at wide receiver. We can play with the skill positions. We can't get a big left tackle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go find a 6.0 GPA left tackle that made a 200 on the ACT. They don't grow on trees, right? You're because you're Vanderbilt, you've always culled from a smaller group.
Yeah.
Well, now because you may be able to go get you a transfer left tackle that is a big boy from day one, now you're able to compete. You're able to go find those guys, and you're not having to go get 20 of them. You only got to get 5 or 6. So now you're not sacrificing the complete academic enterprise to get to where you're going.
Yeah.
The hard part now is going to be the guys. You're not going to have a guy stay for 4 years.
Right.
They're going to leave at some point. The Duke quarterback's a great example. He goes and stars at Tulane as a sophomore. Okay, congratulations. You've played well on a national stage. You got him in the top 25. He becomes the top guy in the portal. Okay, Duke signs him to a 2-year contract. 2 years.
2 years.
Okay. Hey, we're going to take your last 2 years. Gets them to the ACC championship game. Wins it. They win their first ACC title since Spurrier was there. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, his stock is through the roof again. And now, hey, I've got another year left. I got to play at Duke. And I could go make twice as much at Miami.
Yeah.
Well, now he's got to buy out the deal. And that's where you're going to see somewhat the kids are going to have some different opportunities. But it also puts in perspective the guys who build the programs like a Signetti, who's he's played in the portal, but when you look at what he's done, he's building it year over year. And hey, I may have a couple of holes.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to find this guy who we think can play at a high level and just hasn't been there. Miami of Ohio is a great example in basketball. Just went undefeated, right? 31-0 regular season. And they've been in the news the last couple of weeks because it's like they have the worst schedule in the country. Well, nobody wanted to play them because they're all freaking seniors, right?
Gotcha.
I mean, it is a ancient group that you have. And so now this group of guys has found ways to. They know how to win.
Yeah.
Which is something you can't put a value on. And so being able to build that, that should be celebrated right now. Is what this Miami of Ohio team.
That's cool. It'll be interesting to see how they get seeded in the bracket.
Boy, it will be. If they lose in the conference tournament this upcoming week, boy, it's going to be, hey, should they be in? You're going to have a group that thinks they shouldn't be in because they didn't play anybody.
Right.
And then you're going to have a group that says they absolutely should be in. Don't make them go to Dayton.
Yeah.
And play a play-in game. And then you're going to have another group saying, hey, they should be a 5 seed because they've got one of the best records in the country.
Right. I want to ask you some fun questions now.
Okay.
Let's see. You recently just came back from. Were you just in Fort Worth? What was your last trip?
I didn't get to go to Fort Worth.
Okay. What was your last trip though? Do you remember?
Last trip.
Omaha,
Columbus,
Ohio.
Yeah.
Do you get souvenirs when you travel for your family?
No.
Okay.
No. The only souvenirs I get are I'm a big golf polo guy. So whenever I go to a different golf course, I walk out with a polo. Now, I'll also say that I'm also a cheap bastard, and I will make sure it's off the sale rack.
I always get a logo ball. And for my display rack, I'm going to build a custom one. I have all the wood. I've never built it.
I've thought I'm too far down the polo thing now to go back because I would love. There are some places that I got to play earlier in my life that I'd love to go back and do that.
All right, let me ask you. I don't think I asked you this last time. When you were growing up, what was your buzzer beater moment? When you were on the playground and practicing whatever you were practicing, what was your dream moment that you rehearsed in the yard?
It would be we had a wiffle golf course in the backyard.
Okay.
And then we later expanded it to an 18-hole course that included the front yard, and you have to hit over the house. And so that was like, hey, I'm playing in the U.S. Open, and there was 1 week my dad let me mow the yard the backyard the way I wanted to. So we had fairway, rough, the whole 9 yards. I came out and I made a quote green. I dropped the mower down and just scalped the living crap out of it.
Yeah.
Put a hole, had a flag stick, the whole 9 yards. So that was it. It was like, hey, can you go win the U.S. Open or the British Open or whatever, whichever golf tournament was going on? Okay, hey, I'm playing for this in the backyard. Oh yeah,
that's the only hole-in-one I've had in life. Similar, I grew up with my grandparents, and I went and mowed this thing that might have been a 30-yard shot, and it's uneven ground. But it bounced once, it bounced twice, took a left turn, and then I actually had dug a hole, and then I put an actual plastic cup, and it went in. And that's the only hole-in-one I've ever had.
I have lipped out 4 hole-in-ones. The best was at Sawgrass Stadium course, media day for the players. I got invited to play in it.
What year was this?
This is 2010 to 11 or 9. So it was right after they had just renovated the clubhouse. Sergio Garcia had won the year before, and so I think it was TaylorMade was his big sponsor, and so they have a huge display thing set up on the tee box. I'm in a really good frame of mind, having made a triple bogey on 16, and I step up and I hit the clankiest 8-iron of my life, and it barely covers the bunker, and it's to the Sunday pin placement, which is front right.
Front right.
You don't. Yeah. You're not supposed to go after it, right? So I'm playing at the middle. I'm going to land it on and get my 2 putts. First time I played the course. And it catches the ridge and just keeps tracking. And I'm like, no freaking way. And it catches an edge of the hole, and I've got a 2-footer tap in for birdie.
On 17?
On 17.
That's amazing.
Triple birdie par to end the round.
That's a good story.
That is. That was. I've got the video of it somewhere. You can't see anything of where it finished, which is what stinks about the whole thing.
If they were to do a documentary on this coming week, the Conference USA, and you were to get, and they were also going to do some other stuff in Huntsville, and you got a 5-minute segment, what would you want the producers of this documentary to focus on Joel Lamp?
I think it'd just be about the relationships and how what we have to do to run a tournament, and the amount of meticulous work we do, whether it's shaking hands, it's loving, having been on the other side and being in the locker room and the coaches and the administration, this is the hardest week of the year because somebody more than likely is losing a job, and they know that they're walking in and, hey, when you say everything's on the line, everything literally is on the line. And so knowing that in the relationships we built up over the years, getting to know the coaches and the staffs and the players, there are certain players, especially on the women's side, that we've gotten to love watching play. And it's like, crap, that's the last time I get to watch them play.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so I think that would be the big thing, is just how we take care of people and make sure that, they have a great experience. That's the big thing we all focus on next week.
So you go to a Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm going to assume you're probably like me. You're probably going to go in and say, I'm just going to get a couple donuts, and there, can I help you? Yeah, I'm just going to get a dozen. They get the box out. What are you choosing?
3 glazed, 3 chocolate covered, 3 cream filled. And then I can be swayed any which way you want on those other 3.
But 333.
333.
And then
whoever else is with me, because I'm not going to just buy donuts for me. I've built up at least enough knowledge that, if it's just for me, it's going to be 12 chocolate covered, and I'm going to eat 6, and then I'm going to take a nap because I'm going to be on a sugar rush. But the last 3 are for whoever, whatever they want, they can have. The other 9, pretty much everybody will like something out of that.
And it can't be you, but if Steven makes the tour, who's an active caddy that you would want to caddy for him?
That's a good question.
Because I know you'd choose you, but you can't be you.
It can't be me. If it couldn't be me, there's a couple of my friends that would be in the mix.
Okay.
That have played at a high level. And then Ted Scott, I love how the relationship he and Sky Scheffler have, and then Spieth's caddy,
Michael Geller,
Greller. Greller. Steven plays too much like Spieth, and having somebody like a Greller that can help talk him through. Hey, you hit a bad shot. Okay, who cares? We gotta go hit it again. I could see that happening. I've caddied for him. It does okay. We've had some moments. It depends on. Now I'd like to. I'm looking forward to that whenever that opportunity comes up later this year, if it does. Because where he's at mentally now, I'm not trying to manage. A ton of emotions. The last time I got to caddy for him, he's 2 under through 12, and he's absolutely scared of what's happened. And it was one of those moments where, like, if it was a basketball or football game, hey, we're going to call a timeout. We're going to take 3 minutes. You're going to go to commercial break, and we're going to talk through, hey, all right, here's our game plan. We're in a different situation than what we thought when we teed off. Let's go. His mind was racing so fast, he wasn't listening. It was, how do I hit the ball as fast as I can? Because I need to get off this golf course as fast as possible. And he ended up shooting even par, and it's a round that probably should have been 3-4 under. And he even admitted it on the way home. He's like, I really got so nervous out there. I was like, I know. That's why we try to focus on the next shot, not the end result. You looked at what you were going to sign on 18. You needed to look at what is right in front of you. Don't put the cart before the horse.
What is your dream car?
Good question. BMW Z3. But I also know my life expectancy once I own that is measured in minutes, because I'll go take it on 65 and try to do 120. I need to be on the Autobahn is where I figured out I need to drive. I love those old BMW. They're made in like the early 2000s, 2010s. Convertible, 2-door.
Color.
I would take blue.
Blue. What color of blue? Like a
dark blue.
Dark blue.
They've got a dark blue version of it. I fell in love with it, and the missus has absolutely told me, no, you will never own one of those as long as we're married.
Maybe when you retire, Bonnie will relent and let you do it.
Maybe.
Well, Joel, appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks, Troy.
I know you got a lot going on. Getting ready for next week. I'm sure you're working kind of 24/7. It's on your mind, right?
It is. There's always something going on right now.
And I'm going to see you at the arena. We have the Stars of Tomorrow. Why don't we end on talking about Stars of Tomorrow?
It's a great way to finish it because we talk about the basketball tournament and what it does from an economic standpoint in the community and quality of life and all that. But one of the things that we talk about all the time in Huntsville is we're always looking to bring new people in for jobs, labor force. We're looking for that next employee to come into Huntsville. Mm-hmm. And so with Conference USA, well, guess what they have? They have students that are graduating from college who their universities are playing in a basketball tournament here. Okay, let's tie all that together. And so we started the Stars of Tomorrow program last year and bringing a number of kids from the conference schools to Huntsville. It's a cohort of 20 kids that we cull down from about 200 that all apply for the program knowing that the idea is you are interested in an opportunity job in Huntsville.
Yeah.
If something came out of this, hey, you could be living here. And what we bring them in and give them the Huntsville experience for 2 straight days and plug them into Huntsville. They'll go through Monday. We'll have a reception that they are invited to, get to meet everybody and experience that from a different, hey, you're not just Joe Blow student anymore. You're now about to be Joe Blow professional. Hey, here's how, these are some of the things you're going to end up going to. This is what parties look like when you get to be 45, 50. And then the next day they meet with the employers, meet with the chamber, go do a dashboard tour of Huntsville, and then come back. We recognize them before the last game of the night. Really a deep dive into what the opportunities in Huntsville and connecting them to that. Yeah. It's been really promising. I feel like from the conference standpoint, from a Huntsville standpoint, it's been a fun opportunity to really take what we're doing from basketball and sports and make it transcend. And it's something we want to try to find when we do some of these opportunities with the colleges. Not every, and let me also preface it by saying these aren't student athletes. These are just general students at Middle Tennessee, at Delaware, Missouri State, UTEP, New Mexico State. They're all coming in to Huntsville to learn about the opportunities that we have here. And so being able to take that and take it to that next level. We're not able to do that with the student athletes. It would be great if we could, but go back. Every coach here, their job's on the line. You're trying to play for an NCAA championship or play to get into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Singular focus.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to do breakfast. We're going to do shoot around. We're going to go practice. We're going to come back. We're going to watch film. We're going to nap. We're going to eat. Boom, boom, boom. The day is gone. And for us to throw like an hour-long seminar in there, they'd be like, no. Yeah. No, don't care. We're focused on those 2 hours on the basketball court.
He's Joel Lamp. We were golfing like last year when you did a promo cut in your phone, which is cool. Like I remember. It was like October, and you're like,
it was for the club. It was the club championship.
No, it was for Conference USA.
Oh, it was.
Somebody was like, "Hey, we need to do a radio spot."
That was,
and I was like, "It's like 5 months away." And like we're sitting in the cart, and you're like, "Hey, 2026 Huntsville, Conference USA Championships." Like, what are you doing?
So, again, I can talk about the Conference USA relationship for days. One of the bigger things too, we talk about putting Huntsville out there more.
Yeah,
we've been able to run ads about the basketball tournament since October. We've been in their football broadcast since November.
Nice.
We are in every one of their national broadcasts we have a 30-second ad in every national broadcast. So last night they're on, or Thursday night they're on CBS Sports Network at halftime. Boom! Hey, Rocket City Madness is here. Get your tickets. We're able to kind of sell Huntsville. Here's what to do. Here's some of the scenery and everything around that. And so being able to have that platform for us to sell Huntsville for an additional 6 months, we'd have to spend $50,000 to $100,000 to buy that ad.
It's nice.
It's built into our package with them. So it's been fun to kind of build that out with them.
Well, I wish you all the best, man.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you at the arena and all your continued success, because and it's fun. I'm sure it's work and it's hard work, but it's also, hey, you get to do sports and stuff.
It is. It's a ton of fun. We've got a great team, and if you're having fun at it, it's not work. So we've got a really exciting week of basketball coming up, and to me, this is when the NCAA tournament really starts.
Yeah.
Is this upcoming week? We're sending somebody to the NCAA tournament, and hopefully, whoever we send is not there for just one day.
That's right. Yeah, it'd be the George Mason. The surprise team.
So, well, you think about Florida Atlantic when they went to the Final Four.
That's true.
They came out of Conference USA.
I said George Mason because I went there.
You see these teams, and that's where, and again, a Liberty, a Sam Houston State who's having a really good season. Western Kentucky 2 years ago was up at the half on Marquette in the first round.
Yeah.
If you can get the right matchup. And this is why the NCAA tournament is the best sporting event in the country. Those first round games, if you get the right matchup,
it's amazing.
You can do some damage.
Yeah. All right, my man. Have a good one, and I'll be following Steven's career here through your Facebook
Please do.
posts
Please do.
playing on the golf course.
Awesome. Thanks,
Take care,
Troy.
buddy.
Appreciate you having me on.